A powerful, shallow earthquake ripped through the Phlegraean Fields, Campi Flegrei, volcanic zone on the western outskirts of Naples late Friday night, sending thousands of terrified residents into the streets, injuring dozens, and causing widespread structural devastation. The National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, INGV, confirmed the quake struck at 9:44 p.m. local time on July 31st, 2026, with a magnitude calibrated at 4.7. With a hypocenter located at a critical depth of roughly 3.0 kilometers beneath the Gulf of Pozzuoli, the mechanical energy released produced a violent, vertical jolting sensation, sussultatorio, that rattled high-rises and historic monuments alike across the Campania region. Emergency operations continued throughout Saturday, August 1st, 2026, as civil defense authorities and fire crews evaluated structural integrity, cleared debris, and managed the chaotic aftermath of the strongest tectonic event recorded in the volcanic zone since the major bradyseismic crisis of 1983 to 1984. The panic induced by the prolonged horizontal and vertical shaking resulted in immediate medical emergencies across Naples and its immediate western suburbs, including Pozzuoli, Quarto, Bacoli, and Agnano. Local health authorities confirmed that at least 21 people were injured. 2 individuals remain hospitalized in serious condition at the Santa Maria delle Grazie Hospital in Pozzuoli. One suffered severe head trauma from falling masonry, while another sustained internal injuries after jumping from a first-floor balcony in panic. The remaining 19 patients were treated for minor lacerations, bone fractures from falls during evacuation, and acute panic attacks or cardiovascular distress. Hundreds of residents spent the night sleeping in cars, open-air sports fields, or temporary shelters erected by the Red Cross, fearing catastrophic structural failures from ongoing aftershocks. The proximity of the epicenter to urban clusters exacerbated the physical impact on both historic architecture and modern residential complexes. The historic core of Pozzuoli bore the brunt of the shockwaves. Plasterwork, decorative cornices, and roof tiles collapsed into narrow alleyways. 2 structurally vulnerable, uninhabited buildings completely collapsed in the Agnano district. Dozens of apartment complexes exhibited deep structural cracking along load-bearing walls. Civil protection teams have temporarily condemned over 40 residential units, pending meticulous engineering assessments. 2 historic churches in the Phlegraean area reported structural shifts, forcing diocesan authorities to suspend weekend religious services. A high-voltage electrical pylon collapsed near the Agnano volcanic crater, instigating immediate blackout conditions. At its peak, the power failure cut off electricity to approximately 18,000 households across Pozzuoli and western Naples. Multiple subterranean gas lines ruptured due to ground displacement, prompting emergency shutoffs by utility operators to mitigate fire hazards. Water mains also broke, flooding several thoroughfares in Pozzuoli. The main pier at the Port of Pozzuoli sustained visible wide fissures. As a safety precaution, maritime authorities suspended ferry and hydrofoil connections to the islands of Ischia and Procida, redirecting essential maritime traffic to the primary port of Naples. Trenitalia and regional transit operator EAV immediately halted train operations across the Campi Flegrei line, the Cumana Railway, and sections of the Naples-Rome high-speed corridor. This allowed specialized engineers to perform visual and sensor-based track inspections. Falling boulders and rockfalls obstructed key coastal routes. In Pozzuoli, a major collapse of a tough stone cliff face crushed several parked vehicles along the waterfront, though no passengers were inside the cars at the time. The 4.7 magnitude earthquake is not an isolated tectonic event, but a direct manifestation of intense volcanic dynamics. Campi Flegrei is classified as an active supervolcano, consisting of a vast 13-kilometer-wide caldera rather than a single volcanic cone. The region has been trapped in an active phase of bradyseism for over a decade. This geological phenomenon involves the gradual inflation or deflation of the Earth's crust, driven by the movement of subterranean magma or high-pressure hydrothermal gases. Over the past few years, the ground level in Pozzuoli has risen by several meters. This constant upward pressure strains the brittle upper crust, triggering frequent seismic swarms. Experts from INGV emphasized that while yesterday's 4.7 event caused significant localized destruction, it does not automatically signal an imminent volcanic eruption. However, it indicates elevated pressure deep within the hydrothermal system. The Italian government, spearheaded by the Department of Civil Protection, Protezione Civile, mobilized resources under emergency protocols. The Centro Coordinamento Soccorsi, CCS, was activated in Naples to harmonize rescue efforts between firefighters, Vigili del Fuoco, police forces, and medical teams. Temporary reception hubs equipped with cots, blankets, and psychological support services were set up in open plazas in Pozzuoli to accommodate displaced individuals. Specialized drone units and structural engineers are deploying thermal imaging and acoustic sensors to detect internal building flaws and monitor the stability of fractured cliff faces. The volcanic alert status for Campi Flegrei remains at yellow, scientific attention, though discussions are ongoing among national scientific panels to evaluate whether an upgrade to orange, pre-alarm, is warranted based on gas emissions and deformation rates. As aftershocks continue to rumble through the metropolitan area, the Civil Protection Department has reiterated vital safety protocols for residents and travelers currently located in the Campania region. If a tremor occurs, take cover immediately under sturdy furniture, such as a heavy desk or table, or position yourself against an interior load-bearing wall. Avoid balconies, windows, and stairwells, which are highly prone to early failure. Move quickly to wide, open spaces away from electrical pylons, high-rise buildings, old historic masonry, and coastal cliffs vulnerable to rockfalls. Do not use elevators. Shut off individual domestic gas valves and main electrical switches before vacating premises. Rely strictly on official communiques from the INGV and local municipal networks. Avoid propagating unverified rumors on social media platforms. Meanwhile, several neighborhoods in Naples experienced power outages. For safety reasons, authorities temporarily suspended local railway routes, while specialists checked the condition of the infrastructure. The main earthquake was followed by an intense seismic swarm. Dozens of aftershocks, some exceeding magnitude 3.0, continued throughout the night, prompting many families to sleep in their cars or in emergency gathering areas set up by Italy's Civil Protection Department. The succession of tremors heightened anxiety among residents who have been living for years with the effects of bradyseism, the slow uplift and subsidence of the ground that characterizes the Campi Flegrei volcanic area. Experts stressed that the weekend's earthquake is part of the current evolution of the Campi Flegrei caldera, one of the world's most closely monitored volcanic systems. Although seismic activity is under constant surveillance by Italy's National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, INGV, and the Civil Protection Authorities, it continues to pose a significant challenge for one of the country's most densely populated regions. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani addressed the situation, saying, "I have just spoken with the prefect of Naples. I am closely following what is happening in Pozzuoli and across the Campi Flegrei area. The government is committed to providing full assistance to all displaced residents and to finding a lasting solution for the redevelopment and safety of all buildings that have been declared unfit for use."
No, voglio sapere se c'è qualcuno. Oddio, è caduta la montagna. È caduta la montagna. È caduta la montagna.